Hi guys, just a little technique ramble. Uh, I got the idea when I saw the post on tennis elbow or golf elbow, or as we call it, a kettlebell elbow maybe. The pain around the tendons here. And I am no expert. I'm no expert lifter, and I'm definitely not an expert on like a chiropractor or anything like that. But I have lifted a fairly amount of reps, and these days I never get any pain. Just like small stuff, and I stay healthy most of the time, all year round, every day. So well, maybe some of the ideas that has worked for me might work for you, though it's it's just my ideas. Well, what I always try to do when I do swings, when I do like long cycle and snatch, I try to keep my arm as loose as possible, especially in the swing part of the lift. That is where, for me, it feels like I can stretch a little bit. So the swing part up and clean or up overhead, it's not like a pull. It's not like something like you pull like this, or you have to hold tight, because immediately if you hold tight, there is a strain around here. It happens automatically. When you hold tight, something happens, and you little bit of strain, enough reps, enough days, everything, something will happen. So I try to make my arm be as long as possible, and I just hold the bell, just let it hang. And every time the bell goes up, I try to keep my arm as loose as possible, and it's just like a lean until the bell has enough force. I pull back, and then I just like help the bell into place or overhead. So, and I try to find out if I can manage that with my thumb forward or backwards, or something in between. I can't do it like this. Somehow my arm just won't relax. I've tried many times, but it doesn't work for me. When I do it like this, and it's actually quicker. I think it's a better way, but not if you get hurt. Then it's not better. This way, I tighten up. I can't get my shoulder to fall down. I can't get my arm to be long and relaxed by holding the bell like this. I tighten up a little bit, and I pull a little bit. But when I go this way, something releases, and I can just like be like this, and I'm not overextending. I'm in the middle here. Then I can relax. Then I can just like let the bell do all the work, and it's just, and I just lean backwards and go here. So practicing these steps and really paying attention. Are you relaxing your arm, or are you like, when you should have the bell up, are you like tightening up and want to pull it back instead of just like let it flow up, let it flow. Same with down. I don't try to grip it like this. I just up and let it fall, and let my arm stretch and be relaxed, every part of that lift. So that works very, very, very good for me when I learned that and paid attention. Am I really relaxed when I lift? Is my arm relaxed? Everything. Also, the same goes overhead. When I do the snatch, I can, when I reach the top, my arm gets relaxed. Not in jerk, not in long cycle, but only in snatch. I don't know why. Maybe it's that I lean out, and when my shoulder like rotates and I hit this spot, I can, the shoulder almost sinks down a little bit, and this arm, everything stays relaxed. Like so. And that, I think, also helps. Instead of, if it's heavy and you struggle to keep it stable, to keep the fixation, then of course overhead you tighten up here, and of course around here in the tendons, and the strain is too much. So we also try to like stretch the arm, and I try to let the bell stay more like this instead of like that. Some go like this, and some also let the bell go over your hand, like so. And what does that do? When the bell goes over your arm, you have to stop it, and each time you stop it, you have to tighten a little bit. And every time that tightens up, something happens here, and you can get pain. Especially if you train a lot, there are a lot of reps, and each time a little bit, the strain will come. So, technique, if you can manage that the bell somehow goes around a little bit, and you time it a little bit better, so that it's just like, it's just soft landing. That will also help with the kettle bump. You see, I do thousands of reps and I don't have any kettle bump. I got a little bit of a muscle here, but it's not like a kettle bump. I don't have anything. Because the bell, it doesn't smash into my forearms. It's all about being soft, relaxed, letting the bell do the work, just leaning, just helping the bell. And I think that has helped me from staying healthy, from staying with no injuries whatsoever. The only time I feel it is when I do jerk. Jerk is my nemesis. It's because when I do a long cycle, it's like a jerk, but then I get to relax in the clean part. So I stretch out my arm, and then okay. But in jerk, I cannot get my arm to rest in rack. Even with one bell, especially with two bells, then it's like real pain. So what you have to do, you have to find a spot where your arm relaxes. So if you can't get your arm to relax here and get the tissue to be soft, like so, in rack, if you were holding it in place, you are tightening up, and it gets tightened around here. And if you go up, and if you don't relax and get the muscles to release and stay soft, something will tighten, and you will get like the kettlebell elbows or golf elbow. So you have to work on, spend some time working on finding places to relax. Find some place where the muscles can really be loose and be relaxed. My left arm, my trouble arm, is because of my hips and my back. I can't get it, so I have to like put the bell a little bit higher. And then I work really hard by, okay, I want to try to find this. But then something tightens in my hip. I have to like, oh, it's really straining here. But then it's like, okay, it's a learning process. So I'm stretching, I'm trying to go like this, and I'm trying to straighten up. And then, little by little, one rep at a time, I get a tiny little bit better. But you have to think about it. Unless you are just like lifting every day and not working on the small things, then progress won't come. If you don't fix the small things, progress will just like stay like this. So, and it gets harder. The better you get, there are still small things that we have to work on, and we have to if we want to get even better. This is the same in every sport, and especially here also. And then it's the truth that most of us we aren't like 16 or 15 learning from early age. We're kind of like jumping into the sport or into the lifting at maybe 30, 40 or 50 years. And then we're learning the sport now, and we want to learn like all the lifts, and we want to do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30, 60 minutes, and the learning curve is like this. Because you don't have time to go like when we are 15, so we want to do everything at once. And of course, that plays a huge part, that maybe we don't practice as much, we train more than we practice. So, these are longer ramble than I was hoping for, but I hope it helps. Pay attention to your lifting technique. Try to adjust small things in your arms while you're lifting. See and feel when it relaxes. Are you okay? Can you lower the shoulder a little bit? Maybe for some it's easier, oh, if I go like this arm stays totally relaxed and you don't have to pull, you can just like, ooh, maybe that is best for you. Find your little way in between the lifts. I'm sure that will help. Great.